Hello. I didn't do a finish line video like I promised I would because there was so much going on. It was so cold and I had to do some stuff to simply survive at the finish and keep myself warm since I'm camping. So in lieu of that, I'm going to do a wrap up. I'm here at the other end of the finish line field. You can see there's somebody else's tent there, and excuse me, the finish line is down there, so there are still people finishing. We have until 11 p.m. tonight. It's Tuesday now to finish. I finished about, I think, 4 or 5 in the morning. It was dark and cold, and I sat by the fire and had something to eat. She has personal chefs at the finish line, which is absolutely awesome because when you finish, you want something to, a little bit of something to eat, not much, and something warm. So this guy from Flagstaff, and I'll try and post his name in the notes for this video, made buffalo cauliflower, which was absolutely amazing to me last night and still sounds good. Yes, I'm a little stuffed up, and you can see how beautiful it is here. So I made myself some notes, so this time I would not forget anything to tell you. Because every video I've made during the race, I thought afterwards, I should have told them this and this and this. So I'm going to go through my notes. This was not my type of course. There was a surprising amount of gravel road and dirt road, mostly dirt road. There was a lot of grumbling about that out in the course, but I think we just didn't know what to expect because this is a first-year race. And she has to string a field course together, so I guess she has to use a certain amount of dirt road here to do that. But it was certainly not my type of course. Dirt road is just mentally hard for me to do. So I just put my head down and did those parts and enjoyed the parts where there was some single track trail. That said, I try not to make any decisions about whether to run a race again until it sits for a couple days at least. But I think upon reflection this morning that I love being part of such a big event with these people, this type of people. This is my tribe, and I think I like being part of such a big event more than I dislike the amount of dirt road. So we'll see how that sits. Let's see, I ran right after my last video, which was at the very last unmanned aid station. A guy I had run with off and on for the race. There were about three guys I ran off and on with most of the last half of the race. And this is the way Bigfoot 200 turned out, the same way. But one of those guys caught up to me at that unmanned station, and we have a big climb and a big descent after that. And I thought, well, we'll see if he sticks with me for the big climb because I'm feeling pretty good. And he did stick with me. So I just thought it would be better and more fun to finish with him, and we had a good time. We swapped stories, and it's beautiful up there. There was this hidden valley up there, and there was this slick rock, this unending slick rock with no trees. I mean, it was all slick rock, and little puddles in the slick rock. It was the stuff you see, I guess, in Moab tourist literature and videos. Let's see. I think I've covered the course. Oh, after I got food and at the fire, the hard part comes. I have to take care of myself because I don't have any crew here this time, which is tough. So I had to get up in the dark and the cold from the fire with a warm wool blanket around me and leave the wool blanket and walk over to my van that I'm camping in and get the van warm and get at least my bottom half. I'm still wearing my race clothes, if you notice, my race tops anyway. I changed bottoms to put on something warmer, but I have a sleeping bag liner that I just crawl in at times like this. Oh, there's the bus that somebody's been camping in. So I just crawled in the sleeping bag liner, put in the sleeping bag, and had 3 blankets over me and my puffy jacket on, and I was okay camping. It was cold, so your feet hurt and you're done, and now you have to take care of yourself. So that's a good reason not to pour it all out at a race like this. Let's see. I've moved the van into the shade. It was out in the sun. It's the temperature extremes were one of the big things to deal with in this race. It is baking hot right out there in the sun. I'm getting a little bit cool standing here in the shade, actually. And it got, as I said, it got really cold the first night. It was, those guys at that one aid station at Elevation said it had gotten up to 9 the night before, and I'm not surprised. There was ice, especially at the aid stations up high, and we're already at elevation right here in Moab. So the ice and little puddles and things was frozen very well. And I've got a photo, actually, of some ice out in desert. One of the desert aid stations that was at 10 a.m. when the sun had been well up since 7:30 a.m. and there's still ice on the puddle. So we absolutely baked. People were running out of water in the daytime and absolutely froze at night. So the temperature extremes were definitely a big deal here. Let's see. Other things I will remember about this race. The scenery, there was a little bit of everything. I joked with one of the runners that it was like the tourist board of Moab set up this course. We hit alpine, we hit desert, we hit canyons, we hit open desert, we ran by a river, we ran by everything. So that was pretty cool, actually. I will definitely remember that. The people, I always remember the people. That's probably the biggest thing in these races, and that's probably one of the biggest things that keeps me coming back, is just the people and sharing this experience with people that I come to know and like. It's just such a cool thing. Falling asleep on my feet at that one night aid station, that was really bad, and apparently I was not the only one there. That's really weird. And the strangest thing is that one section at the aid station afterwards, and talking to people after in later aid stations and comparing notes, I was not the only one who thought I was running in circles. It was really bizarre. It was well marked and people were getting turned around. I thought I had gotten turned around at one point and had to check my navigation app, and I still was questioning, because I was so sleepy, was questioning my my direction. And I knew I was not mentally sharp, so I was checking up my direction once, twice, 3 times just to make absolutely sure that I knew I was going the right way. But that was just a very odd thing for all those people. I mean, people who weren't running together, to think they were turned around and running in. Everybody was saying running in circles. It was really strange. I learned things in every race. Things like put a wool blanket on top of the air mattress so you don't freeze to death from your air mattress. I would have slept better that second night had I done that. The animals, this was odd, and the guy I ran with at the finish was the biologist, so we got to talk about this. There was hardly any wildlife out there the whole entire way. We saw some tiny lizards at the start, I mean, that was it. A few bats at night. That was pretty much it in the desert. Thankfully, no snakes. When we got up high into the La Salle Mountains, the alpine stuff, we did see a porcupine, that was absolutely cool to me. I was running with a biologist guy and another guy at the time, and of course the biologist is from Alberta, Canada, and he says they have plenty, so it was no big deal to him. I was very excited. I did see some deer, one deer and some doe elk right after the Uwa Lake Station up high. Saw some cows, but it was odd, and we all kind of remarked that there was not much wildlife, not even really many birds or ravens. It was very quiet out there. And let's see, I can't read my writing here. there was just some interesting stuff out there. There were some people doing interesting things. There was one woman in the middle of the night while I was taking a bathroom stop in the sagebrush who thought she had gotten lost, and this was near a four-way intersection. She had gotten lost, and she had come back to the four-way intersection. I was over in the bushes peeing and trying to yell at her to go. I got her turned around the right way, and she was screaming that she was lost and didn't know which way to go, and I kept telling her which way to go, and she kept screaming that she didn't know which way to go. And there were race signs right there, and I told her to go look at the race signs, and she still said she was determined that her Garmin said that she was lost. And I said, look at the race signs, and she argued with me, and I just gave up. So there was some interesting stuff going on out there that I will also remember. But anyway, overall, these races are so well supported. Candace Burt's race support, 200 milers are so well supported that I can't imagine doing any other 200, really. I mean, she has personal chefs afterwards. The medical staff at the aid stations, I got my feet taped. I never get my feet taped, and I had it taped, and I had blisters that needed taping, really to get to the finish and not have traumatic foot damage that's going to carry through to my race this coming weekend. The volunteers, the food, just the infrastructure at an aid station, having all those tents set up for sleeping, mattresses, blankets in there, and they set up the sleeping tents generally away from the aid station so that the noise from the aid station, or runners coming into the aid station, does not wake you up when you're in the sleeping tents. So, you know, all kinds of little details so well thought out. I just can't even list all the little details. I'd like to really thank Mary and Todd for taking care of my feet. They were the medical staff. Todd is the medical director. He was at Bigfoot, so I got to know him there. And he taped my feet up and gave me a foot massage at one of the later aid stations. It was awesome. And Mary changed my socks for me at one aid station. I change socks fairly often, and that really helped. Let's see. And you know, it's just a big epic experience. So this has gone on for a fair amount of time. This video is much longer, but I hope it's a good wrap up. I hope it answers some of the questions. Right now you can tell my lips got probably some sunburn. I thought I was using lip sunscreen enough, but apparently not enough. My lips got sunscreen and they are sunburned, and they certainly got chapped. That's something I would do differently this time, is take better care of them. It's a little bit swollen, but you can see that my face is puffy. I typically puff up a little bit all over right after a race. You don't like magically lose all those pounds you just ran off. I typically puff up a little bit, and then after a day or two, it all flushes out, and you know, everything is normal. And then you feel like you ran, you know, you feel nice and trim, like you just ran 238 miles. So I'll put up with puff for a couple days. I've laid in the van with my feet elevated a little bit. And right now I am going to go shower. Now that things are open in town and I'm awake and moving, I'm going to go shower in town and get more normal. This is definitely me at my least glamorous. You know, my nose is chapped, my lips are going to peel shortly, and my nose is still stopped up, and I have not had a shower in days. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it's been a good wrap-up, answered some of the questions I may not have answered out on the course, and given you a small sense of what these events are like. And I'll go back and look at the videos and start posting them pretty soon. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and if I get some good feedback, I may try and do this in future races. See you later. Bye.